The observation deck of the Galactic Conservation Ark hummed with the low thrum of life support systems as Mira Chen made her daily rounds through the xenobiology wing. Her worn boots echoed against the metallic floors, a sound that had become as familiar to her as her own heartbeat over the past 2 years. The other species aboard the Ark, the cautious Velith, the calculating Kronar, even the peaceful Thessian monks, had warned her repeatedly about entering Enclosure 7 without proper restraints and sedation protocols. Mira ignored them all. She pressed her palm against the biometric scanner, and the reinforced doors hissed open. Inside, the habitat had been meticulously crafted to resemble the crimson forests of Drac Prime, complete with artificial sunlight that cast everything in shades of amber and rust. The air smelled of iron-rich soil and something wild, something untamed. 2 sets of eyes immediately locked onto her from across the enclosure. Drac and his sibling, Kessa, were Vrakthian cubs, apex predators from a world where mercy was a concept as foreign as oxygen was to the void. Their species stood 8 feet tall at adulthood, with midnight blue scales that could deflect plasma rounds, retractable claws capable of rending durasteel, and a hunting instinct so refined that Vrakthian mercenaries commanded premium rates across 3 spiral arms. These cubs were only 6 months old, barely reaching Mira's waist, but their potential for destruction was already evident in every corded muscle beneath their scaled hide. The moment the door sealed behind her, both cubs erupted into motion. Drac launched himself from his perch atop an artificial boulder, his juvenile wings spreading in a display of territorial dominance. Kessa responded by pouncing from the opposite direction, releasing a high-pitched growl that would have sent most sentients scrambling for the emergency lockdown. They collided mid-habitat in a tangle of scales, claws, and competitive snarling. "Boys," Mira said calmly, though Kessa was technically female. She'd learned that Vrakthians responded better to casual address than formal protocols. "Is this really how we're starting today?" The cubs ignored her, too absorbed in their struggle for dominance. Drac managed to pin Kessa briefly, only for his sister to twist with serpentine grace and rake her claws across his flank. No blood, their scales were already too tough for their juvenile strength to penetrate, but the indignity of it sent Drac into a renewed frenzy. Every other species aboard the Ark would have deployed stun nets by now. The Velith caretaker who'd preceded Mira had lasted exactly 4 days before requesting immediate transfer, citing psychological incompatibility with murder beasts. The Aber Kronar replacement had implemented a strict feeding schedule delivered via automated drones, never once entering the enclosure personally. Mira simply walked to the center of the habitat and sat down cross-legged on the moss-covered ground. The effect was immediate and profound. Both cubs froze mid-grapple, their predatory instincts momentarily overridden by confusion. In their short lives, prey either ran or fought. Prey didn't sit. Prey didn't present vulnerability with such casual indifference to the threat they represented. Drac's nostrils flared, sampling Mira's scent for the 1,000th time, still trying to categorize her. His neural pathways insisted she was prey. Soft skin, blunt teeth, no natural weapons, dangerously fragile bone structure. Yet she bore no fear scent, released no stress pheromones. The contradiction created a cognitive loop his young brain couldn't resolve. Kessa approached first, her movements cautious, each step a careful test. Her amber eyes never left Mira's face, searching for any sign of aggression or weakness. She circled once, twice, her tail lashing with uncertainty. "Come here," Mira said softly, extending one hand palm up. Not reaching, not grasping, offering. The Thessian monks had explained it to her once, during a meditation session she'd attended out of boredom. Humans, the eldest had observed, exist in a perpetual state of contradiction. You are neither the strongest nor the fastest, yet you conquered a death world. You lack natural weapons, yet became apex predators. Your secret lies not in what you are, but in what you convince others you are. Kessa's snout touched Mira's palm, her forked tongue tasting the salt on human skin. A low rumble emanated from her chest, not quite a purr, but close enough. And then, in a movement that would have horrified the xenobiology department, Kessa climbed into Mira's lap. All 60 pounds of scaled, clawed predator cub settled against Mira's torso like an oversized, extremely dangerous house cat. Kessa's head tucked beneath Mira's chin, and that rumble deepened into something approaching contentment. Drac watched this betrayal with visible outrage. His crest flared, displaying the iridescent patterns that would someday attract mates and intimidate rivals. He released a chirp of protest, surprisingly bird-like from such a fearsome species. "Room for one more," Mira said, patting her other thigh. Drac's pride warred with his desire for exactly 3 seconds. Then he bounded forward, climbed over his sister with complete disregard for her comfort, and wedged himself into whatever space remained in Mira's lap. His tail wrapped possessively around her arm, and he shot Kessa a look of supreme triumph. They were warm against her, almost feverishly hot, their metabolism burning calories at a rate that would bankrupt a small colony. Mira felt claws prick against her legs through her uniform, not aggressive, just present, a reminder of what these creatures would become. Kessa's breathing had already slowed into a drowsy rhythm, while Drac kept one eye cracked open, determined not to miss anything important. The observation cameras were recording everything Mira knew. By evening, this footage would circulate through every break room on the Ark. The Velith would click their mandibles in disbelief. The Kronar would run probabilistic analyses trying to explain how she hadn't been eviscerated. The Thessian monks would simply nod, understanding something that others couldn't articulate. Humans had conquered Earth not through strength or speed, but through an almost irrational willingness to form bonds with anything that didn't immediately kill them. Wolves became dogs. Wildcats became companions. And here, light years from home, that same inexplicable instinct reached across the void to 2 predator cubs who should have seen her as nothing but prey. "Good boys," Mira murmured, scratching behind Drac's crest where she'd learned he liked it. Kessa stirred slightly, demanding equal attention, and Mira obliged. Outside the enclosure, the galaxy continued its cold calculations of threat assessment and survival probability. But inside Enclosure 7, a human sat with apex predators in her lap, and for this moment none of the universe's harsh mathematics mattered at all.